Beautiful morning out today. Got dryers we're changing. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 racks we're going to be changing dryers on. So it's pretty simple. The way that these are set up is nice, where you got a ball valve and a ball valve. So all we got to do is just ball valve it off. We'll essentially be pumping down the racks. Ball valve it off, isolate it, pull those dryers out. There really ain't much to it. Like I said, that one's just a single right there. Let's see what we got over here. This one looks like it's gonna be, no, that one's a double. Usually that's what I'll see on racks or doubles, where it's got 2 of them in there. But yeah, all of these are set up the same way. We got a ball valve before and after, so this will be nice and easy, but figure I'll bring you along, show you what we're doing. All right, so we got our dryers. Let's get into this beautiful Vito. Those of you that were asking, this is a tech pack, little backpack, front and back. I love this thing. I'd never use anything else. The zippers are a bit of an issue, but I've had this bag for probably 3 years. I had the bag before this one for probably about the same before I turned it in for warranty, but I love this bag. So just got to see, got my discharge, my liquid coming out into the top of my receiver, coming out of my receiver. So first thing I want to do is I'm gonna cut this one off. Whoop. Got that one closed. I'm gonna let that pump out a little bit, just get the liquid out of that line. And like I said, literally all I'm gonna do is then just come over, shut this one right here. While I'm waiting, see, we got a couple different 3-way valves. So these things are, this is a split condenser valve right here, where you'll notice we got summer side, winter side. So basically how that works is when it gets cold, that 3-way valve will energize and it'll cut off half this condenser to where we're only using this half of the condenser in the winter. Right now it's full condenser because it's still hot enough out. This 3-way valve is not in use. You can see right here, it says to heat reclaim, from heat reclaim, but you'll notice that pipe comes out. There's no heat reclaim there. So that 3-way valve is just kind of sitting. But while I'm waiting, I guess I'll grab my gauge. Hook up right here. So this I'm going to use to check to make sure we got no more liquid in here. Like I said, I'm not pumping this thing all the way down. I'm just cutting that valve off, letting the liquid pump out till it's vapor. Right? No more liquid. Oh, a little bit of liquid, so we'll let it go a little bit longer. All I'm doing is I'm waiting for the liquid to get out and then change those dryers. Let's see. Should have my 1/2 inch. Boom. Let's get this guy. These dryers, if they're plugged, we're gonna have liquid in here still. So it should be enough to pump down by now. Got our gauge hooked up. You can see pressure's coming down a little bit. Just gotta wait for it to pump down. All right, we got this pumped down enough. We're just gonna come over, hit this ball valve and let that pressure out. So, man, that's tight. Go ahead and close that up. Make sure this one's closed all the way. Alright. And then all we're gonna do, grab a couple of these dryers. So that right there tells me these dryers are probably gonna be pretty good. liquid trapped in there. Look at these dryers. These dryers are dirty as crap. That's why all that liquid was wanting to get trapped in there. That's why we're having a hard time pumping down, because of how dirty these dryers are. Surprisingly enough, this ain't really dirty at all. Dryers are, like I said, that's why we're having a little bit of an issue pumping down. That's why we have that liquid come out. So with these, I never like to tighten these all the way with a drill. I'll get them all kind of snug. I go back through with either a ratchet or a wrench, and I'll go through and hand tighten all of them. I like to make sure that they're all hand tight, or tighten them by hand. All right, so we got that all tightened up. Got new gaskets, new dryers. All right, there's the old ones. Next, put this gauge back on, or this hose back on. And what I like to do is I'll go ahead, I'll purge from that end. So I'm gonna crack that ball valve, let it purge, and then crack that ball valve, let it purge. That way I'm pushing air from both sides, clearing those lines, making sure there's no air or anything or any non-condensables in those lines. Boom. And there you go, we're back up and running on this rack. All right, let's go get this one over here now. So while I'm transferring all my stuff over, I'm gonna go ahead and let this one start pumping down. All right, we got that line coming up out of the receiver. So now that line is pumping down, getting all the liquid out of there. But if this one's as bad as these ones were, there's a good chance we don't get all the liquid out. So I'm just gonna grab what I need real quick. Make sure we got that gasket inside that cap. Boom. Come on. Whoa. Again, look how dirty that dryer is. That's why it's having a hard time pumping down. That's why I knew it wasn't going to pump down good. That's the new dryer, that's the old dryer, right? So that's why we're having issues pumping down. That's why there's so much liquid stuck in those cans. You can wait 3 hours to try to pump those things down, but other than that, these things aren't going to pump down very good with these dirty dryers. But surprisingly, these screens aren't dirty hardly at all. All right, we got all that stuff put back on, got new gaskets, everything's tight. Let's go get this thing purged and kick it back on. Let it rip, tater chip. All right, there we go. So we got 1, 2. He's finishing that one, and that fourth one's already done. So we got all 4 of these rack dryers done in about, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. So that's all we got for today. As always, I appreciate the support. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and yeah, thank you. Later.